Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. One second, just to make sure everything is opened and sorted here. And we are recording and we are ready to go. So, welcome back. Welcome back to each and every one of you, and congratulations. Congratulations for being here on day 3. What you're doing is you're showing up for yourself. Not for me, not for anyone else. You are showing up for yourself. And by now, you have probably already noticed some really subtle changes, some shifts in your awareness. You've began to think slightly different as well, and you probably started to feel slightly different. And this is just after 2 days, 3 days. Wait till you see how you feel today. So today we're going to go so much deeper. Okay, we're going to go even deeper, and this is not about gathering more information, okay? This is about you fully embodying the version of who already has and already exists inside you. And as living the life of your desires and dreams, that version that lives the life that you truly desire. Can you just imagine it? That version of you's here already. She already exists. Or he. We have males and females both here. But that version of you already is here. So as we step into today, I want you to lean in. I want you to open up and to really let it sink in. Because the life that you desire is not waiting for you in the future. It's here, right now. And the key is becoming the person who already loves it. That's all it is. That version of you already exists in the future. You just have to remember, okay? Just remember. So over day 1 and day 2, we had some great breakthroughs already. And this is where I want us to elevate from. So on day 1, we talked about the starting point of all transformation. What you are not aware of, okay? You can't change it. The very act of becoming aware, it gives you power to shift. So if you aren't aware, and this is where the self-reflection comes in, and most definitely, it is no judgment on yourself. No judgment on yourself at all. So day 2, we crossed that bridge from power, understanding we have that power. Then we spoke about the identity and how we're going to actually use that power. Now, decision is one of the most powerful forces that you have. Making that decision opens up the space. And when I say it opens up the space, when you make a decision that you want something or that you want to go towards something, the moment that you make that decision, what you're doing energetically, you're opening up the space for it to come. It completely changes when you decide. Everything in your physical world changes when you decide. Now, a true decision is, it's not about wanting something. It's about committing to it. It's about saying, this is mine. This is who I am. It's done. And the moment that you make that real decision, that irrevocable committed decision, your energy shifts. Not just your energy, but your whole vibration shifts. And then the universe it begins to rearrange itself to meet you at the level of that decision. But again, we can consciously say that we want something. We can consciously say that, oh, I want to win the lottery. That's just a conscious decision, okay? An irrevocable committed decision would be, who do I need to be? What identity do I need to have to be someone that has that amount of money, that has earned that amount of money? Now, to win something is great, but there's no growth in that. For me, it's setting a goal, working towards it, and it's the growth in who I become. So today we are going to take one step further, because it's not just about deciding. It's about living from that decision. Living from that desired state instead of maybe the observed state. So when I say living from the desired state, and the observed state would be what we see now in this physical world around us, okay? So the desired state is your ideal, your goal, your imagination. So most people live only from the observed world, as we spoke about yesterday. You're living from what is current in your environment now at the moment. The observed world is what you see with your eyes and what you sense with that body. May it be your bank account, your current relationship status, the state of your health, the way your business looks right now. And most people live from there. They see what's around them, and then they think that that's reality. And again, so many of us do this. But here's the problem. When you live from the observed state, you end up reacting. You argue with your partner and carry it on all throughout the day, then lowering your vibration. You check your bank balance and then spiral into fear, replaying it at night, worrying about it. I was one of those people. You get news about maybe your health and then you rehearse the fear in your mind over and over and over again. So what's happening in these moments? Like you're taking all your focus, all your energy, all your power, all your personal power, and you're pouring it into the very thing that you don't want. So your focused attention, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So whenever you stress, when you worry, even whenever you replay the struggle in your mind, you're breathing life into that. But when you become whenever you become consciously aware that that's what you're doing, that's when you can change it. So because energy manifests into form, you keep recreating it over and over and over again. So that's why so many people feel stuck. So many of us feel stuck and we think that there's no way out of this because it's a cycle. And the observed world of today becomes the observed world of tomorrow. How we live our life today is how it's showing up tomorrow again. But there is another way. It took me on my kitchen floor asking God, there has to be a better way to live. And most definitely there is. From where I was at to where I'm at now. You can live from that desired state. And the desired state is not about what you see right now. It's about what you know. It's about you. It's about what you choose to imagine, what you choose to feel, what you choose to embody. Now, when you live from that desired state, you stop letting your senses take over and you stop allowing your senses to dictate your future. And we see something through our senses and then we go into the spiral of the worst case scenario, having backup plans. Instead of leaning in to what we want to feel, what we want to embody, how we want to live from that desired state. And when you're doing that, you stop letting your senses dictate your future. You let your imagination, we spoke about your imagination, one of your higher faculties. That imagination is leading. It is leading you. And that's where the transformation begins. That's where the freedom begins. So that word begin is such a powerful word because it's the starting point of today. I start day one again. So when we think about Groundhog Day, think about like the cycle of living and the observed state is just Groundhog Day. And whenever I lived, well, I'm actually back in Northern Ireland at the moment on holiday, but when I lived here, I felt stuck on repeat. Every single day was the same. I thought the same thoughts, felt the same feelings, did the same actions over and over and over again. Maybe you've been here in this thought process, the same relationships, the same financial struggles, the same emotional patterns over and over and over again. But most people don't even realize that they're in Groundhog Day. They think life is just that way, but it's not. I promise you that it's not. The moment that you become aware of the loop, you can actually break it. But for so many of us, we're not even aware that we're in a loop. This is how, by changing our thinking, thinking from a new idea. And when I say thinking from a new idea, I mean by living from a desired state. You start to think differently. When you're imagining the life, the finances, the relationship, the health that you want, you're vibrating at a different frequency. And then whenever you're vibrating at a different frequency, you're tuning in to the possibility that there is something else. And as you tune into that, you're going to get new ideas. There's going to be new people coming into your life. There's going to be new circumstances show up. Why? Because you have changed your thinking, and you're thinking from a new idea. So when you do this, everything changes. Your thoughts change. Your feelings change. And then when your thoughts and your feelings change, your identity changes. Even your conversations at the dinner table is going to change. That's the version of you I want you to practice stepping into today. Again and again and again. You're not here in this group or watching this replay or in this live by coincidence, okay? Or just to pass the time. You're here for a reason. You logged in, you signed up for a reason. You joined the group for a reason. So what is that reason? Because that version of you that is desiring more, that is wanting more, that is so humble for what they have, but they're so hungry for more, is rising to the surface again. And this version of me kept rising to the surface, but the old me kept pushing back down again. So I want you to do this and practice this again and again and again until it becomes second nature to you. And the moment that it becomes second nature to you, then it becomes reality. Okay? That's your reality. Just let that hit for a moment. Because there's another, blockage. We all have these blockages through our whole journey. And we can be breathing life into things that we don't want. And we're not even aware of it. We can be breathing life into some things that we maybe hate. I don't like using that word, but every time that you focus on what's wrong, every time that you replay an argument in your mind, or you stress about lack, what are you doing? You're giving your creative power to the very thing that you don't want. When you are putting your focus on a competitor or what someone else is doing, you're putting your creative power out to someone else. So this is where Neil Donald Walsh very clearly says we don't oppose. Okay? Do not oppose, do not resist. We compose. We create. Because what you resist, what you push down, what you suppress is going to persist. It remains. Why? Because your attention gives it life. So we must take our attention away from this observed state that we're living in. I am very present in this current moment, but I am so focused and I know exactly what I'm bringing into this physical world. So if we withdraw our attention from what we don't want and we place it firmly on our desired state, what must move into form? So the imagined state is, for me, is the real state. My imagination. I go into my imagination, oh my goodness, all day, every day. Why? Because for me, what I hold now for myself as my imagined state is the manifested state. If I can think it, if my imagination is so developed that I can think it, I must be able to achieve it. Because if it is humanly possible for someone else, it's most definitely humanly possible for me. The imagined state is the manifested state. So when we go in to our imagination and we quieten down all the hustle and bustle that I said before, and we're quietening it all down, and we're going in to really ask ourselves, how do we want to live? How do we want this life, this trip here on this planet, how do we want it to be? And then we visualize ourselves. We visualize ourselves happy, free, really happy, free. That's not the fantasy. I visualize myself healthy, wealthy, joyful. That's the truth, and that's reality. And now, because I have so much belief in that, by law, if I hold that image in the forefront of my mind with my will, one of my higher faculties, I think from it, I feel from it. What am I doing? I'm making it real in my subconscious mind. And when it's real in my subconscious mind, and once that mind, my subconscious mind accepts it, it expresses it. And then my world is going to mirror it. Because your world around you, the evidence that you see in your world around you now at the moment, is just a reflection of what is going on inside. So we build inside that internal structure. We build that internal structure to really support the life that we want. But a lot of people, yes, a lot of people's going wrong. Instead of imagining what they want, they're replaying old memories. They're replaying memories from yesterday, maybe last year, even decades ago. But them events, they only exist in your memory. How many times have we heard people relay a story from years ago? I do it myself. But I'm relaying stories of joy, of happiness, of thinking, how far we've came and journeyed. But I'm not replaying the bad times or the horror stories or the trauma. Why? Because I don't want that to be repeated in my life now. So we use our memory for what it is that we want. And think about it. If you deleted your memory, think of The Men in Black. It's one of the movies that I always remember. They went in and they just cleared everybody's memory and they didn't know what had just happened. So if your memory was deleted, okay, by one of them trigger things, it would be as if it never happened. So why keep replaying them? Why keep giving them ideas and the situations? Why are we giving them life? Because your subconscious mind does not know what is true, what is false, or what is imagined. It doesn't know whenever you're pulling something out of your memory and you're reliving it in the physical form, you're adding emotion to it. It does not know what is true and what's false. Now, I'm not telling you to ignore pain or even bypass your emotions here. Most definitely not. Not suppressing emotions or ignoring it. This work is transformation, which means it's healing. We must face what we're carrying here. We must face it, we must release it, and then we must move forward. So whether that is something that is holding you back or anchored to your past, release these anchors. Release them with love. Move forward with love. And sometimes when I say that, you can think, oh my, how can I release that with love? Well, we do it through a practice, okay? It is through a practice because this is one of the most powerful ways to do this. Even as Neville says, it's through revision. Revise the event. Revise, it's like there's a chapter, I'm not even sure if the chapter is Pruning Cheers of Revision, and it's Neville Goddard's book, The Power of Awareness. It's one of the most beautiful books that I've ever read, and it's one of my go-tos. And he would have always said, revision lets you go back into your memory, not to relive it, but then to rewrite it. And then when you rewrite it, you change the meaning of it. You're the one that's in control. So think about it like this here. If you keep focusing on loss, you're going to recreate loss. But if you revise it and see where you have grown and see the abundance that you have achieved, whether it is in family, relationships, where you have had love before, where you have been healthy, where you have been wealthy, what that is doing is you're focusing your imagination on that on a continuous basis, reaffirming to yourself who you are on a continuous basis. The whole meaning changes. And then the memory transforms. So that's the power of revision. Your imagined state is your true state. And when you choose to live from there, your subconscious mind accepts it, your body expresses it, and then your world reflects it back at you. And we can say it's as simple as that. But then the old programming kicks in. I guarantee There's so many people watching this now going, it can't be that easy. And that was my programming. It has to be difficult. It can't be easy. But it is so easy. It's simple, very, very simple steps, but it's a continuation every single day. It's repetition every single day. A child just doesn't stop and say, I'm not walking anymore. I'm not going to try and walk anymore. They continue until they have achieved. So even looking at this, I want everyone on here now, if it's a safe place to do it, let's take this into practice, okay? Even just close your eyes for a second and take a few deep breaths. Really taking a few deep breaths in. Hold and release. So what we're doing here, we're stepping into your desired state. How does it feel? Really anchor in that identity. How does it feel in that moment? You're in your goal achieved. You're feeling it. Whether it's a beautiful home, whether it's a different country, whether it is health, happiness, finances, you've achieved it. You're not thinking of it, you're thinking from it. And when you anchor in this identity, this is who I am. So when you open your eyes, don't leave that vision behind. Every single day, you bring that vision into your reality. So when we spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes every single day stepping into that transformed state, you're stepping into that transformed state. You are her. You are him. It's done. Anytime fear or doubt arises, just even ask yourself, am I thinking from the observed state here, or am I thinking from my desired state? And whenever you think from your observed state, you're repeating it and you're recreating it. So we go back into the desired state. And this is where we use a revision. And whenever you use a revision, that's when old memories surface, okay? That's when you're really, old memories is coming up and some triggers are showing up. Okay, I'm going to revise this. How do I want it to be? And you're using the revision now all the time. Pardon me. Until it becomes natural. So the most importantly that I would leave you with today is to reaffirm your decision every single day. Reaffirm your goal every single day. Reaffirm the desired state that you want to live in every single day. Every morning you choose, okay? You choose. It's either you can drift back into observed state, and I've seen it happening. I've seen it happen many a time. That people have drifted in to the observed state. They have allowed what was happen currently to dictate their moving forward. They have allowed the circumstances, maybe the economy, to dictate how they're feeling and how they're moving forward. And they have just drifted back into the observed state. Or you can stand in your decision and live from your desired state. So when you're standing in the decision that you made to move forward, as I always say, you only have excuses or results. Oh my goodness, I have heard every excuse. I have said every excuse. Absolutely every excuse under the sun. So what I'm doing here is that I continually choose a latter. You are no longer waiting for change. You are becoming the change. You don't need anything externally from you. It is all already there. Every single part of it is already there. So I want us even to look slightly deeper at this, okay? Really, just slightly deeper. Over the past 3 days, you've walked through this archway of transformation. On day 1, you became aware. You started seeing patterns. You started understanding that you had the paradigms. You started seeing that the results that you've been loving, whether you like them or whether you're not, and then you realize that I'm not stuck. I can actually change here. Nobody's stuck. Every single one of us has the power to change. We have our own willpower. We have the power of choice. So whenever you realize that the driving force is in your hands, and then on day 2, we learned the power of decision. We learned about identity. We learned how to embody. That nothing shifts until you say that this is it. This is who I am now. It is done. And decision will be probably the knife that cuts you free from the old. And then we're looking about how we learned how to live from that desired state today instead of the observed state. You've stepped into your identity. You have looked at what does not serve you and what you want to serve you. The truth of who you are. Awareness, decision, and embodiment. That's the formula. That's the pathway. So when we step into the awareness, and it is not a judgment of ourselves at all. What we are doing here is we're becoming aware of who we believe ourselves to be. The concept of who you think you are. Without your name, without your title, without your bank balance, without your relationship status, who do you believe yourself to be? Okay? And then we step into the decision making. How much do we want this? Are we going to decide that we are leaning in and changing our life? Or are we going to keep in the flow and the cycle, the continuation of what we think is possible for us? And then it's embodiment. The embodiment of this material. We're not just reading more books, okay? At all. What we're doing is we're shifting the pathway. And when we're on the pathway, it's not just motivation. It's not just positivity. Most definitely not. It's building your mindset so strong that your emotions don't take over. We don't suppress our emotions. We're aware of them. We really are aware of them. We understand them. We release them. And then we transform. But I want you to really go that a little bit deeper, because it isn't just about this 3-day event. I don't care what anyone says. It's not just about 3-day event. Motivation is very short-lived. Motivation is extremely short-lived. I can motivate you over these 3 days. Most definitely I can motivate you over these 3 days. And then the momentum's great. You're in a great energy. And then 2-3 days time, you're back into the same cycle. I've talked to people that made decisions about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and they were not going back to what they were doing pre-COVID. Through COVID, they decided that they were not going back to what they were doing before. But what did they do? Straight back into it. Why? Because your internal programming hadn't changed. Even though you consciously made the decision, the old patterns, the old programs is all still there. And you will deviate back to that old programming and back to that. Why? Because it hasn't completely changed. So this is a formula for change. This is about transforming, really the transformation of who you believe yourself to be. But when we're doing this, this is about the rest of your life. This is not just a short motivational chat. This is proper transformation. And it's for you for the rest of your life. And the question is, who are you really? You're not your circumstances. You're not even your results. You're definitely not your memories. You're consciousness itself. You are awareness. You are imagination. And the moment that you realize that, you become free. You become free from having the loop of the Groundhog Day, doing the same thing day in, day out, expecting different results. You're free from that prism of old paradigms. You're free from illusion. The illusion that life is something that's happening to you. Life isn't happening to you. Life isn't even happening for you. Life is happening through you. So, if life is a reflection of who you believe yourself to be internally, and you're not happy with the results in your life, I think it's maybe time that you started to look within. Not to blame and not to judge, but to understand that you're the one that's got the driving force. Your results are just a mirror. That's all they are. They're reflecting back the identity that you have been holding. And the moment that you shift the identity, the mirror has to change because your identity has changed. And that's why I keep repeating decision creates identity and identity creates reality. So the decision that you are here is enough of an understanding that you want change. And when you decide to live as the wealthy you, the healthy you, the loved you, the free you, your thoughts shift, your feelings shift. And as your thoughts and your feelings shift, your vibration has to shift. And then, by universal law, your reality has to follow. By law. Not man-made law, but by universal law. Your reality has to follow. But here's a mistake that most people make. They wait for the mirror to change before they shift. They wait for the bank balance to rise before they feel abundant. They wait for the partner to arrive before they even feel loved. They wait for success before they even start to feel confident. That's backwards. The mirror cannot change until you do. And when you embody abundance, it's a mouthful, like love, when you embody love, confidence, and you do that now, even before it shows up and you don't need validation from someone else to feel this way. I love every part of me. I am confident now because I've built it within me. I didn't wait until someone else showed up to show me this. So I flipped the switch and it's there for you as well. You step into your alignment and then you create it. And this is why imagination is so powerful. Because whenever you live it in your mind, when you feel it in your heart, your subconscious mind accepts it as truth. And once the subconscious accepts it, your whole world bends to match it. So the practice is simple. But it is simple, yes. Sometimes it's not easy. Because we get caught up in the outside world. We get caught up in our observed world. So you practice every day. Yes, I set an alarm on my phone. At the start of my journey, I was on just repeat, continually on repeat of my gratitudes, of my goal, of my auto suggestions, my affirmations. But that was until it became part of me. You only have to do something until it just becomes automatic, until it becomes natural, until it becomes part of you. So become aware of that loop, decide to break it, and then live every day from that desired state. So if you do these three things, awareness, decision, embodiment, you can't feel because you no longer are reacting to life. You're starting to create life. You're starting to create life on your terms. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today because I get so much from these sessions. I'm reaffirming to you the ability that you have. And as I said at the start of these 3 days, I teach from experience. I study every single day. I just love this material. It transformed my life. It saved my life. It shifted me from thinking that it's better if I wasn't here to really having that passion to wake everyone up that I possibly can to their potential, not my potential, your potential. And I trust and I believe in every part of my essence that anyone that is working with me in my energy will achieve what they desire. I have so much passion towards that. So 12 months in my energy, I promise you, you will get to where you want to be. But first and foremost, it's making that decision. It is you making that decision for you. It doesn't matter to me whether you do or not. But this is for you to make that decision. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the days to get better. Stop waiting for the money to show up. Stop waiting for the kids to get out of school. We only have now. We don't even have tomorrow. Yesterday is gone. We only have this present moment. And in this present moment, you decide to be the highest version of you. Allow her or him to rise up with inside you and release that version. Because life, it only gets better. It gets better and better and better and better when you understand your true power and your potential. So as I say, thank you so much, each and every one of you, for joining me today. And for anyone that wants to take these 3 days a step further, I'm going to add my link to book a call below this lesson here. Reach out. Even if it's just a 45 minutes, it's a free consultation call. If I can help you, maybe we resonate, maybe we don't. But again, you're here watching this for a reason. So thank you so much, with so much love, so much gratitude to each and every one of you. Have the most beautiful rest of your day.